Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, guys, I'm just going to get started. I'm in a rush. Hurry, hurry, love, come to me. Okay, don't mess around right now, girl. You ain't got that kind of time. We don't have that kind of time. We need to get going. Okay. So, I just want to quickly remind folks we're going to be having our private chat over in the sanctuary right after this. Right after this, we're going to go ahead and have that chat. If you haven't already and you want to be a part of it, please go here. And that's where you can get access. Okay. Oh my God, what's happening here? Just breathe, girl. Just breathe. Just breathe. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right, y'all. Okay. All right. We're gonna be really focused. We're gonna get this done. Okay. So let me get that off the screen. I asked what this reading is going to be about, and what I heard is you are ready for this. So you're ready for something, some type of change in life, some type of situation, experience, connection, whatever it is that maybe you've been thinking you're not ready for, but looks like you are ready. Looks like you are absolutely ready. Okay. Okay. All right. So you're clearing things out. You're absolutely clearing things out, and it's working in your favor. It's something that is cleaning up your energy, cleaning up any distortions in your perception. And as you do this for yourself, what's happening is you're creating much more stability for yourself. These are all very, very good things. Very, very good things. You're coming to a space of awakening, of realizing maybe you didn't have to worry about some of the things you thought you needed to worry about. Maybe it's time for you to kind of just take a deep breath and exhale the negative. Exhale, release, let go, all of that really healing process. Now, there's another energy that's coming through. There's another energy coming through, and this energy, oh, I could not believe it when I heard about this. I know times are tough right now. Hold on. Because I know times are tough right now for a lot of people. So I've got some information I'd like to share. Okay. There's information that's going to be shared with us. So whoever this person is, this is a person who has refused to take responsibility. For some reason, I don't feel like it's you, right? I mean, you'll be the best judge as to whether or not it's you. Be honest with yourself, though. For some reason, I feel like it's not you. I feel like this is pertaining to someone who has had some type of circumstance with you. I don't know if this is like a situationship or an old relationship or something that didn't even become a relationship, some type of soul-based something or other. They're not wanting to take responsibility for how they co-created whatever the two of you have both struggled through, whatever circumstance that has greatly hurt both of your feelings. And I say that because they're refusing to heal. Whoever this is, they're not coming into a space of fulfillment of the reality of their gravity and potential. They're just not. They're not. They They don't have the willingness or maybe even the capacity to show some respect for the gravity of connectivity that the two of you have. I'm wondering if this is a twin flame thing. Michael goes, "Oh, you're so quick to talk about it now." No, seriously, because remember the past few days, I want to say, I don't know, my memory's kind of bad. I think it's the past few days. There's been this continuous message that's negating the past few years of you need to have conversation with a specific person. The two of you are going to trigger each other's growth. It's healthy. It's healthy. It's healthy. And now it's like, no, F them. You got this, boo. Literally, you got this. Whoever this is, they're stuck in a space of, I don't know, maybe they were healing and something triggered them and they went right back to square one. And unfortunately for them, but also fortunately for you, there's no luxury to go back to square one at this point. There's not. Life is progressing. You are progressing. And so it's looking like you are being cleared to go ahead and do this process on your own. Which I don't know that you're really missing out on their presence. If I'm really going to be honest, it seems like you're in a completely different place than whoever this is for you is at. And you're kind of just, you're needing to speed along, not rush things, right? It's not to rush anything. But I'm assuming it's your soul not wanting to delay your process either. Um okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay. I mean, is this whole reading going to be about them? I would prefer it be about you, like strictly about you. I feel like we've touched on that enough. Okay, we'll just give them 4 more cards. They're not tapping into their intuition. They're not listening to what their soul is telling them. That's okay. That's their process. That's their loss. They're not going to be allowed to go to a new chapter. They're going to continue. They're stuck in their contemplations of you. They're refusing to surrender. This is not a game. This is not a game of who can hold out the longest. If you're ready to grow, you go ahead and grow, baby boo. You go ahead and grow. Allow yourself to move forward. They're not going to be moving forward. They're going to stay in the same space of wanting to blame you, being angry at you. I'm wondering if maybe they went through something that really is not even associated with you. They have some kind of misery in their life that, again, really, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything. It feels like they continuously project everything that's happening that they don't like onto you. Well, here's the good news. They're not in your life, so you don't have to deal with it. Who cares if they're projecting onto you? You just keep right on moving forward, learning what you need to learn, getting to the next part, to the next level. There's nothing you need to explain. You can sit there and be like, well, that's not fair. They keep blaming me. Who cares? Who cares? Your life is about to change for the greatest potential to be delivered to you. You're about to have amazing things happen for you. Who cares if they're stuck? You're not wanting them to be stuck. You're not asking them to be stuck. They are choosing this. It's got nothing to do with you. It's never had anything to do with you. Just like how what you went through because of your interactions with this, whoever this individual is for you, it really had nothing to do with them. It was all about you and the ways their existence triggers your thoughts and your reactions into spaces that will help you to contemplate things about yourself. Not to blame yourself, but to recognize who you are and how you are. You're ready for the next part of your life. You're ready for the next part of your life. Why are you going to let this, oops, Why are you going to let this hold you back? I mean, does it need to hold you back? I am of the mindset that I will not allow a person to hold more real estate within my thoughts than they allow me to have in theirs. Okay. And some would say that's very tit for tat, Emmy. No, it's about recognizing that sometimes I need to recalibrate my degree of reciprocity, my degree of loyalty, my degree of love and friendship and connectivity to match someone else's. When they don't care about me, I'm not going to hate them. I'm just going to be like, okay, so you're telling me that you don't want me to be as present in your life as I am willing to. Okay, I'm going to respect that. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to let myself get to a space of like, but why? Why am I not enough? I'm just not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not. Does that diminish my worth? No, I'm just not. Right. And when you enter into this type of mindset where you accept how other people choose to see you without trying to explain, just accepting it and carrying forward, you enter into a space of just extreme power over yourself. You enter into a space of true sovereignty, right? Like, baby boo, you are not desperate for someone to like you. You're not. What's happening is what's causing the desperation. Time for you to rise. Amen. What's causing that sense of desperation is it's triggering a wound from childhood. It's triggering a wound from childhood, and it's causing you to revert back to that space of being that wounded child. Address the wound. That's the gift the person is giving you without even realizing it, right? They don't even realize it. They're giving you the gift of understanding where your wounds are still needing your gentle touch, right? Letting yourself just kind of, oh, okay, that's why you were in my life for however long you were. Your part was to show me the parts of me that I need to love more. Okay. Sometimes that's all the person is meant to do for you in your life. I was having a discussion before. I don't know if it was on a live stream or private. I'm not sure. But it was this thing of like, you feel like you've been betrayed. You feel like you've been abandoned because you had this storyline in your head about how this person is supposed to be in your life forever. Who told you that? Who told you that? Did you tell yourself that? Is that something that you just assumed? Because for all you know, your two souls could have just agreed for you to be in each other's lives for a very short time. And that one short time would be enough to trigger you for the rest of your life, trigger your growth, trigger your internal introspection, trigger the deepening and expansion of your capacity to love yourself. Like the gravity of it. And if that's the case, they didn't abandon you. They stayed for as long as they promised to stay and left when it was time. The time that was agreed upon by both of you before you entered into this life. Too many people are so hell-bent on this storyline of my twin, which, you know what? That's up to you if that's what you want to focus on. That's up to you if that's what you want to focus on. I've met quite a few people who have a frequency register that categorically makes them a type of twin for me. None are in my life consistently. I don't need them in my life. It's not like I don't like them. I see a lot of myself in these people, but I don't need them in my life. That's not what we agreed upon. They're not abandoning me. They are not betraying me. They enter and exit as we agreed upon. And sometimes we forget the agreements we make with other souls because we get so caught up in all of these all of these different things that we want to believe we're entitled to, but really we aren't, right? Um, mm. Sandy, do you want me to speak on what you commented? Do you want me to speak on what you commented? Because I feel like it's something that would give people a lot of perspective, but I also feel like what I have to say will hurt your feelings. Are you sure you want me to speak on that? It's not my intention to hurt your feelings, but there's a potentiality that it might. But even in that pain, it can give you an insight into how to shift your perception into a space that might one day give you the ability to repair that relationship. So Sandy says, I felt like that about my 13-year-old child. She just got a phone on her birthday, and all I want is for her to talk to me. Something's happened. What you want does not trump what she needs. And right now, what she needs is silence from you. The true gravity of love, and yes, it's your child. This is your child. But what we want and what we perceive as a parent or as a partner, it's not always in alignment with what the other person needs. They need quiet. They need space. They need a different approach. And sometimes, I don't think this applies to you though, Sandy, what they need the most is you completely gone in order to heal, in order to gain understanding of themselves. Again, I don't think that part applies to you, Sandy. But this is what we need to know as individuals. What we want is not always what the other person needs. And we always have to honor the needs, right? The needs of the person we claim to love. Now, maybe you're unaware of your actual needs, and what you needed was to have whoever this person is, their absence, right? What you needed was their absence because their presence is simply designed to trigger you, trigger thoughts, trigger feelings, trigger processes that will get you to the next part of your journey. Okay. Now, of course, it is very different, the dynamics between a partnership, a romantic partnership, and a relationship between a parent and child, right? Sometimes a parent needs to continue to insist on being present, on asking to be allowed to be present. I don't know the situation. I don't have any opinions on the situation outside of my heart goes out to you, Sandy. That's difficult. From one mother to another, that's difficult. That's very, very difficult, very heartbreaking. Regardless of what's happened, I'm certain you have tremendous love for your child. But as we get to places where we're starting to exert some independence, starting to consciously choose to exist in a space of individuated existence. Um, we need to have a little bit of space to make decisions and understand the ramifications of those decisions. Um, for me personally, if that was the relationship that I have with my child, um, I would explain that. I would leave a message and be like, I understand you're upset with me. I just hope one day that you allow me to be a part of your life. And until then, I hope it doesn't irritate you too much, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep reaching out. I'm going to keep that door open. And hopefully, one day, not too long from now, you won't be so mad at me and you'll let me talk to you. Right? Because then that validates what you want and what they need. And they understand, hopefully, eventually, they'll understand the only reason you gave them space was because they asked for it, not because you wanted it. And that you respect where they're at within their journey, but to please never forget that they are so loved by you and always in your thoughts, right? So that's hard. That's very, very hard. Unconditional love and timeout, right? So it's time for this unconditional love to really step forward. Unconditional love for the self. Um, and for some of you, the person that you're dealing with, unconditional love for them and their decision to kind of keep that space that exists between you, keep that divide up, right? Time out. You need to take some time out from that. Um, and what needs to happen as you take time out from that is you need to redirect your focus to yourself. Is that silence and lack of connectivity, again, gifting you with a moment of triggering the parts of you that need your attention, the parts of you that are wounds that were inflicted from your own childhood, where you felt pushed away and rejected. Um, One of the things that I learned as a parent, I had very specific opinions about the parenting that I received as a child. And I didn't agree with it. I didn't resonate with it. And of course, I also was not at a place where I was in a space of maturity to understand it or myself. Right. And one of the things that I did, because during that part of my life, I lacked the maturity to understand the gravity of my life experiences up to that point. I went ahead and I did the polar opposite of everything that upset me and disappointed me about the parenting I received. And it's this thing of you need to be careful. And this applies to more than just parenting, parent child relationships. This applies to every single one of your connections. You have to be very careful about being so triggered that you lose sight of where your point of center is, that you go so wildly to the other side, the opposing polarity, because you're overcompensating. That also creates wounds in your child. You have to find the center point. That creates wounds in your relationship, right? That's what that does. You don't have to do the opposite of what you received. What you have to do is find your point of center and then be centered in your peace so you can actually move forward from whatever horrible experience you had in your childhood, in your relationship, in your workspace, in your friendships, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. Um, I'll say this. To finally get it and to actually respect it are two different things. I don't know what you've chosen to do now that you get it, Melba, but that's an important um, consideration for all of us to realize, to finally get it and to act in accordance with what you finally understand, respecting that need. They're two different things. They're two different things. And so if someone's finally getting what you need, but they're still doing the same thing, I don't know that they actually get it. Or they do actually get it and they don't care, at which point you need to make decisions for yourself. And if you're the one that finally gets it and you're like, I just need to try harder, I need to convince them to see it from my point of view, I don't know that you get it. If you finally get it and you're like, okay, I'm going to step away. It's going to hurt me a lot, but I'm going to step away. I think one of the ways you can ensure they know you're not giving up on them is by really just letting them know, you know what? I get it. I get what you need. Just know that I want to be around, but what you need is more important right now. And whenever you reach out, I'll be available. But until you reach out, I'll be quiet so that I can respect your needs. I just don't want you to feel abandoned or forgotten about. It's important to me that you know I would keep reaching out if I knew it wouldn't violate your need. But because I get it now, I'll give you the silence you need. But I'll always be available whenever you need me to speak up again, right? Just really healthy communication, healthy, very healthy communication. Sometimes people will do these things, and I'm speaking in general terms, Melba. I'm not trying to encourage you to keep reaching out to your child. Okay, speaking in general terms, I don't know what your child needs. Sometimes people will express that they need you quiet and they need you gone, because there's a wound that already exists and they're afraid. And what they're actually doing is just testing to see who will peek their head over the wall that's been created to keep them separate from the rest of the world. Some people cope with their pain in that way. I don't know what you need to do. No, I do know what you need to do. I don't know how it will be applied to your circumstance, though. What you need to do is what you need the most. Whatever will bring you to the next part of your journey and your understanding of yourself. Your future is being formed right now. Your near future is being formed. This is probably why. This is probably why there's a lot of things, people, and circumstance that's being cleared away, because you're being given the indication from soul that it's time for you to get to the next part of your life, the next part. Don't wreck your potential trying to cling to something that's being swept away by life. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. When a person you love is bleeding out, do you show your love by injuring yourself so you could bleed with them? Or do you do what you can, knowing there's limits, and clearing out of the space when you've reached that limit and you know there are others who can better handle that circumstance? Like if we put that analogy into an in real life circumstance, I still distinctly remember this, and it fascinated me to no end, because I had already decided I wanted to be a cardiothoracic surgeon at that point, right? Well, I was debating. I was in high school. I was like a junior in high school, and I was debating on cardiothoracic surgery or plastic surgery. I was having issues with my aesthetics. And then I was like, but I can't do plastic surgery on myself. So, it was a first aid class that I was in. I went to a bougie high school. Mm. So it was a first aid class that I was in, and the instructor was sharing a story of how he was at some type of job site and a pane of glass had fallen and it fell on one of the contractors. And when it shattered, one of the shards cut into his thigh and he was bleeding out profusely. It was a squirter. It was squirting. It was the femoral artery that was severed. And he immediately took his belt off to make a tourniquet. He couldn't get it tight enough and it was still squirting and squirting and squirting. You can bleed out within a few minutes from that artery, right? And so what he needed to do was he needed to put his fingers into the wound because the guy pulled the glass out. You never pull it out, you'll bleed out. So he had to stick his fingers into the wound and clamp both ends that were severed. Not put them back together, but clamp them with his fingers. Luckily, there were other people because other people called 911. And when the paramedics arrived, they were able to put, what is it called? That clamp, a hemostat. They clamped both sides, packed it, got him on the rig, took him to the ER. He had emergency surgery immediately. So it's this thing of that instructor knew the limitations. He knew the limitations. He wasn't just going to allow this person to profusely bleed, knowing this person will be completely emptied before paramedics arrive. He did what he could. He did everything that he could. And when the people who had a more specialized training, aka life experience, when those people arrived, he let them do their job. He wasn't like, no, I got to keep holding it. I'll ride on top of him on the gurney. Like, no, let go, bro. There's hemostats. They're clamped. They're clamped. It's going to be all good. You did a good job. It's time to let go and let the people who have the training, the people who have the life experience to take over from there. That's not you giving up. I know. It fully affected me. He was telling this story while I was like curling my lashes. I had my little metal lunchbox and I had my makeup in there. I was like, curling my lashes. And I was like, what, sir? And he totally was like, Garcia, what are you doing? That's why he had my full attention at first. He's talking about and then he called my he called my lash curler a circumciser. He was a PE coach, and it was like career day, and we all got to choose what we wanted to hear people talk about. Like some people's parents came, they had professionals there. And of course, because I'd be geeking out on medical stuff, even in high school, I chose all the like, I'm going to need this information. Everyone chose like fun stuff. And I was like, okay. Okay. And that's also one of the parents, I believe, was a neurosurgeon. And I was like, this is fascinating. Maybe no longer plastic surgery. We're going to do cardiothoracic surgery and neurosurgery. And then it was actually that PE instructor who was talking in the first aid course. It was him that had mentioned ER doctors are often the most highly trained because they get the sickest of the sick people and they need to know about all the bodily systems. And I was like, oh, I want a side job in the ER. I was an intense youngster. So, at your core, all of these things are happening for you. They're increasing your potentiality. All of these events, all of the things you're letting go, it's creating space for more potentiality to be loaded into your manifestation template. What you perceive needs to be recalibrated, because I think for some of you, what's actually happening is you're seeing the process of preparation priming you for the next part. You're viewing it more as punishment, that your soul is punishing you. Punishing you for what, though? Like, what do you think you're being punished for? Because you're not being punished. Soul never wants to punish you. It's your perception. That's all it is. You're perceiving that your soul is punishing you because you're not getting what you want. It's like that thing that some children go through, where because of the way they receive their parents' words, they think they're being punished by being told to go to bed, that it's bedtime, or told to brush their teeth, right? Like, my soul treats me the same way, or communicates the same way that I communicate to my children. If it's time for you to brush your teeth, I'm not going to say, "Oh, would you mind brushing your teeth now?" Well, you're giving them an option to say no. If it's a need, I'm not going to say that. So, what I used to say when they were toddlers, do you want to brush your teeth yourself, or do you want me to brush it for you? Because it's time to brush your teeth. And then that gives them the option. They still want to have their options. But no matter what, there's no option of you saying no, right? There's no option of you saying no. It's one of those things. When your soul communicates something to you, is it giving you an option to say no? Or is it simply letting you know that, hey, we're getting to the next part? Hi, Alina. We're getting to the next part. Um, get ready, put your shoes on. We're gonna be doing some stuff. Sometimes, continuing that parental analogy. Sometimes people, well, no, not sometimes. Oftentimes people be like, "Oh my gosh, your kids are so well behaved." And I'm like, "Yeah, they're kids." They're kids. It's the way you communicate to them, right? It's the way you communicate. If your kid is having fun and you're suddenly like, "Hey, we're leaving." Should I be pissed too? I would be pissed too. It's so abrupt. It comes out of nowhere. And so what I used to do when my kids were all toddlers, like little tiny babies, I'd be like, "You're having fun?" I'd be like, "Yeah, mommy." And then I'd be like, "Okay, I'm so happy. Okay, we have like 5 more minutes left. Go have as much fun as you can, and then we got to get going. Okay, when the 5 minutes is up, I'll go ahead. I'll grab your shoes, and then we'll put them on, and then we'll get going." I'd be like, "Okay." I'd be like, "Yeah, go have fun. Hurry up. You got 5 minutes. Have as much fun as possible." So I would grab the shoes. As soon as they see me grab the shoes, they'd be like, "It's time to go." "No, no, no. You got 2 more minutes. Keep going. Keep going. 2 more minutes. Let's max it out." Right? Let's max it out. 2 more minutes. I'll let you know when 5 minutes is up. And then when 5 minutes is up, they see me wave over. They're like, "Oh, I'm so tired, mom. Let's go." Right? There's no argument. There's no argument, because they had been properly prepared for the next part. This is what your soul is doing for you, is preparing you for the next part. And oftentimes the next part would be another fun thing. Another thing that would be very fascinating. Something we all will enjoy, right? Um I know I was made for motherhood, wasn't I? I'm telling you, I would be completely, my follicles are hurting. My head, see, look, okay, calm down, hair. You're hurting me. My follicles feel sensitive. Um, I would have no problem never being publicly viewed and just being a mom all day. I would sew my children's clothing. I would grind their flowers from scratch. I'm not joking. I would make their toiletries from raw ingredients. I would render tallow to its purest state to create the most luxurious body butter. I ain't got time for that these days. Specialization. This period that you're in, it's not for your specialization. It's priming you for the whole next part of your life. Like the whole next part of your life. You just had another baby? I bet your baby is gorgeous just like you. Oh my God, you're so gorgeous. Let me hold on. Let me see your face. I can't see it bigger. You're gorgeous, boo. Send my love to the family. It's been forever. Send my love to everybody. Um, Discernment in reverse. I don't feel like there's anything that you need to discern, right? I don't feel like there's anything you need to discern right now because it's kind of just this thing of like trusting your soul, letting your soul kind of clear the playing field for you a little bit, clear the pathway. It's time for you to take the first steps, and you're not being rushed into that. You're being encouraged, you're being coaxed, and it's just really big boost up your your amazing new life. I just got notifications. Your amazing new life is coming. It's coming. You're ready for this. You don't need something outside of you to get to the next part of you. This is an internal journey. This is an internal job. And if you allow yourself to really be present and reap all of the benefits of the learning that you've had, and what is the learning? Your life experiences, the things that you've been through. That's the learning. That's how soul has been getting you to learn things. If you allow yourself to see the things that you've been through and really just let yourself flow through that, integrate what needs to be integrated, apply what needs to be applied, I think you'll see that life begins to be easier. It begins to unfold, and you begin to see, like, wow, this really might happen for me. This is really happening. It's really happening, right? Like I've been oh my god, you guys, I have to share this. I'm going to cry. Look at all my regrowth. It's just stop. Um so I worked on someone on on a TikTok live stream a few days ago, maybe earlier this week. I don't remember exactly when. They had a blood clot in their, I think behind their knee, if I remember right. It was in their leg, and it was really bad, and they had all the symptoms. And I was like, "You need to go to the ER. Like, you need to go to the ER." I was very adamant, and they were like, "They can't." I was like, "Call 911." And they're like, "It's dangerous even for an ambulance to travel to them to transport her because of all the snow." And I don't know what region they're from, but they kept saying like they can't. They have to wait. And despite being ridiculously nervous, I was like, "Okay, I can't leave you like that. I'll work on you." And I worked on them, and I made sure to go through the entire body to be extra careful and make sure there's no blood clots anywhere. And we dissolved everything. And then they were quiet for a few days, and I was like, "Oh no. What if I mess them up? What if I miss something?" Like, what if, oh my God, I've been so worried. Like, man, oh man. And then yesterday they came on the live stream and they let me know. They let me know that they finally got a chance to see the doctor. I guess the roads had been cleared. They got to see the doctor, and the doctor let them know they have absolutely no blood clots. None. That blood clots are not something they need to be concerned about. And so we were able to fully clear that. Sometimes you're placed in the most precarious circumstance, a circumstance that causes all of your insecurities to come forward, right? All of your fears, insecurities, things that make you just feel some type of way about yourself, make you doubt yourself. And that's what it was. But it was such a specific circumstance. I could not leave her like that because if any part of that blood clot, it was fairly large. She said her vein had turned black. If any part of that fragment broke off and was released into her body, and I told her all of this, like trying to convince her to be like, no, don't work on me. That could lead to pulmonary embolism. That could lead to all sorts of ischemic events. It could lead to a catastrophic heart attack. She could die. She could die. That's a very high likelihood. Very high likelihood. uh, but I've had life experiences. I've had life experiences. I did that for my mom. I did that for her. It's so easy to forget everything you've already lived through. So easy to forget. It's so easy for us to forget and to diminish and to disregard. Your life has been preparing you for so much. For so much. It's hard for me to accept that I have such a massive body of work that's medically documented. Thousands and thousands of clients. I'm approaching, I believe, 11,000 at this point that are documented. That does not include the people that I worked on that didn't purchase sessions, and it's not documented. It is so easy for me to be like, well, what if I mess up? What if I don't know what I'm doing? What if none of this is actually real? Right? Except for the fact that I have hundreds of pages of medical documentation for my mom. I have thousands of pages for my brother. How much do you not believe in yourself? And how is that disbelief crippling you and preventing you from living your actual divine purpose? This is the period where you're going to see you are ready for this. You're ready for this. You're ready. It's time. There's no more clinging to a person and using their slow journey of self-healing as an excuse to slow your progression down. There's no more of that. There's no more crutch that's going to be offered to you to help you block up your path, slow your movement through your life. You see, there's a difference between needing a crutch and pretending to. Huge difference. Huge difference. I'm gonna, oh, you know what? That's not even the right. Okay, well, let's talk about this. I'm doing a past life tea party tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you'd like to get expedites, it's all set up. It's ready for you guys. Go check it out. Click on that QR code or the link in the comments and see what I have available. What I was trying to click on was this. In a few minutes, I'll be going over to the sanctuary to have a private chat with all of my sanctuary folks, those who have chosen to officially support through a recurring contribution. You have access to private spaces within our virtual community. We're going to be talking about some really intense things. Really intense things. I had given you guys quite a few different I'm seeing all of these people that I haven't seen in so long in the comments. I love it. I love it. I love this. I love it. It's just further proof for me personally. Very recently, I had said that I am telling God, I want everything back that I willingly gave up to maintain a peace that never existed. I want it all back. I want my people back. Everything I walked away from to try and keep a peace, I want it all back. No, I'm not saying I want to be famous. I want to be rich. I want my community back. Everything I turned my back to try and keep a peace that never existed. I want it back. And there it is. There it is. People are slowly finding their way back. I'm seeing this on TikTok. I'm seeing this on Facebook. I'm seeing this on YouTube. It's been years, Emmy. It's been years. It took me several years to work through the things I needed to work through. You can't rush your process. You can simply be present, or you can pretend you're not there. It's up to you. I'm finally allowing myself to be fully present in the spaces I need to occupy. So, guys, if you want to be part of the Soul Sanctuary, the website is thesoulsanctuary.love. Thesoulsanctuary.love. If you click on that QR code or the link in the comments, that will take you exactly where you need to go in order to initiate that recurring contribution. There's different levels of recurring contribution. All the funds go directly to our church. I don't process it. It doesn't cross my hands. It goes directly to the church. It's considered categorically a donation and is tax deductible in the United States. So we are a recognized church. I am simply the head of it. I'm not the owner. I'm simply the head. I'm the senior pastor and the sitting president. It is a church as well as a nonprofit religious organization. So keep your receipts. This is not a membership. There's no, like, you're not paying for perks or anything like that. No, there's just recurring contribution, different tiers. And as part of being in our congregation, we have private conversations. And this private conversation is going to start in about 15 minutes. I will see you guys there. I'm so excited. I got all these things to tell you because these are very difficult topics. I can't talk about any of this on public live streams. It's okay because we talk about it in there. I've been given a lot of confirmation regarding some of the messages that I've shared with our congregation weeks back. Now I'm being shown, or was recently shown, why, you know, why that was happening, and why I was told to encourage you guys to prepare in the ways I was told to encourage you to prepare. And now we're seeing some of the timelines playing out. So that's all the stuff I'm going to be sharing. Plus, we're going to talk about whatever else you guys want to talk about. It's going to be an intense conversation. Be ready. This is going to be a hard hitting conversation. I don't want you guys to feel excessively triggered. It's going to be a very hard hitting conversation. Okay. I'm not trying to traumatize you, but just know, get ready for it. All right. Thank you guys for sharing this space with me. I might go live on TikTok later this evening. I'm trying to be as present as possible over there. Gathering my little lambs. That's what, that's what I just heard Michael say. Gathering the little lambs. go find me on TikTok. I'm Emmy Evolving across all social media. If you haven't already subscribed, followed, liked, and shared, please do so. And then find me, especially on TikTok. Be part of my community over there. We're gonna have some fun. We're growing numbers pretty quickly. I love it. I love it. And we're gonna keep doing it. We're gonna keep doing it until the entirety of the world knows the potential of the miracle that is a human body. I'm simply a facilitator. The miracle already lives inside you. I love you guys. I'll see you again very soon. Bye, everybody.